Okay, so on to Series 10, or new Series 10, Peter Capaldi's finale as the Doctor, although I've got doubts whether this was meant to be his finale or not. So basically, it's very much going back to basics. This feels a lot like Classic Doctor Who, like even like the long-running mysteries. Oh, I forgot to mention Series 9 because the long story arc is so inconsequential. There's a hybrid, a creature that's maybe half Time Lord, half something else, which Time Lords are desperate to know more about, which people thought was half Time Lord, half Dalek. Nope, it was just the Doctor at his very, very worst. So that was it. This doesn't really have one either. You know, Series 8 was who this Missy woman is, effectively. And yeah, that was Series 9's. Series 10's, it doesn't really seem to be one. It's ultimately, in the background, you've got the Doctor trying to redeem Missy once and for all, trying to make her see that all the things she's done are bad. That's kind of it. Yeah, so it's gone back to those same sort of structure they've been following with, you know, the modern day Earth girl, as the Master would say in Series 4. No, the specials rather. And it's the same sort of system with, yeah, modern day, past, future, etc. No, I haven't got like the early and late two-parters. It's basically the opening episodes, a few of them. Then it's a three-part trilogy in the middle, although with one of the episodes tying into it quite nicely. And then a two-part finale. So again, different from before, and it feels like from this, like I was reading a review actually the other day where they said that it feels like Tim Moffat had kind of done everything he could, so he was just going back to a basics approach. And yeah, it does feel like that. I mean, the first episode is even called The Pilot. Like they're so it's still mentioning the past. Like it opens with a photo on his desk of River and Susan. You know, Susan, their first ever companion, his granddaughter from the very first episode, and then River, who he had a 62-year-long relationship with in the last series, which was absolutely awesome. The one night at the Singing Towers of Durium turns out to be 62 years. So he's kind of had all that. Again, if you want to, for the ending, read the book. It's not on here again, his Christmas episode Twice Upon a Time, much like they did with Matt Smith's finale. He's not in the box set, which is really, really stupid. But the book for that explains why the Doctor ends up like he is in this series. So highly recommend that one. But yeah, he it goes back to the basic structure. It's going away. The companion is a lesbian, and she's like very proud of it, which is totally cool. But it does feel like they feel the need to mention it over and over again. Like, who the hell cares? Like, Rose didn't have to mention she was straight in every episode over and over, like more or less in her first like year. And they go a bit too far on it. It does seem like it. Again, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But yeah, it feels like, yeah, you know, stop going on about that. All right, we get it. You know, this is just, again, this is this sort of stuff which I mentioned, the sexism series 9 creeping in even much, much more into series 10. That's kind of part of that. But yeah, otherwise, really good series. So you've got your one episodes, like the series opener. You've even got like a couple of Christmas episodes in this series because Doctor had a year off for some reason in 2016. Apparently, there's so much good TV, they didn't need Doctor Who or something. But I think it's because Steve Moffat was busy with Sherlock and had no time for it. Much like how similar thing happened with 2009. David Tennant couldn't do Doctor Who because he was doing Shakespeare, and Stephen Moffat needed much more time to prepare his show for 2010, which made complete sense. But yeah, it's a similar thing with this. So yeah, single episodes, all pretty good. You've got you know, Smile, which is the one set in the future with rebellious robots. You got Thin Water, which is in London, but with big focus on racism, which yeah, I like seeing there because Series 3, which when Martha in the Shakespeare episode ignored it completely. It brought it up again. It did, although it didn't ignore it in her episode Family of Blood, which was good. It felt like there were things Doctor Who is scared to touch, and it did it well without being like the entire point of the episode. An episode built entirely around racism. No, it's just that Bill, who is not white, experienced a racist guy, and you know, sort of stood up for her, which is good. So yeah, you've got your one-off episodes. You've got Oxygen, which is your future one with like the Doctor actually getting blinded at the end of the episode and can't fix it. And then the next trilogy, these people called the monks, who basically want to rule the world as dictators, but like all dictators, they want to be loved. So they make a deal. The Bill's love for the Doctor, as long as they fix his blindness, is accepted as a form of humans wanting them in charge, and it's all about them stopping them eventually. So yeah, good through part. It's not the best, but it's definitely worth a rewatch now and then. A lot of these episodes I actually watched a second time, and those were one of them. And then normally you've got the ending, which is again, the Doctor can't save everyone, and Bill actually gets killed and turned into a Cyberman, and they bring back the Master, which is awesome because even when you got Missy, I remember an interview, Stephen Moffat said, "Don't worry, John Sim is still the Master," which made me think, yes, he's coming back soon, right? And oh, he did. Yeah, you actually see him sometime after the events of the finale. He's been fixed of his condition and has been free to go off and do what he wants because, of course, he wouldn't want to stay on Gallifrey. He successfully killed / caused the President to regenerate because we see him in series 9, and then he's in this base but got overthrown, and he's, of course, like all of the Master's schemes, he's allying with enemies that will then turn on him. So, yeah, that's what the Cybermen do. Basically, he starts working with Cybermen, and, of course, perfect. Love that to Peter Capaldi. They're the Mondasian Cybermen. So Cybermen in William Hartnell's finale, that were part of his regeneration story, were from Mondas, basically the Earth's 10th planet from our solar system, which then somehow got knocked out, somehow fell out of orbit, and the Cybermen are from there. And of course, anyone who only watched New Doctor Who would probably only know the Cybermen are fairly forced into what they've been doing. These Cybermen, and then they convert people against their will. These Cybermen willingly change themselves so they can survive, which is a great idea because, yeah, you need people that like want to live and survive no matter what, and that's what we've got at last. These people willingly upgrade themselves so they can live, and that's what the Mondasian Cybermen are. They still look like they did, but obviously a little bit more spruced up from the 60s now, which is absolutely great. And yeah, and so John Sim, we've never is great as the Master. Once more, finally, we've got him truly nailing what the Master his version of the Master should have been like. You got Missy trying to be redeemed, the Doctor's trying to make her feel better, make her like understand the things that she's done through her life have been wrong, and yet she's actually listening. Like she starts feeling bad for everything she's done, but then you bring in like the previous version of herself, because there's no doubt, John Sim's Master is right before her, and he just pulls her back to her old ways. That ends with the Doctor making this amazing speech about, let's just stand together and fight the Cybermen, save these innocent people. Let's just once do this. John Sim's Master is like, no. She's like, says she can't go that far. But then after she decides to go, and basically her and the Master kill each other. It's like quite amazingly done, because she decides, now it's time for you to become me, and just stabs him. And then when the Master finds that Missy's going to actually help the Doctor do good, he then decides to kill her, full blast of his laser screwdriver on maximum so she can't regenerate. And it's just so sad that Missy had like finally decided to do the right thing, and the Doctor never knew about it. And it's great. We've never had a multi-Master storyline, and it works so well. And what I like is like John Sim. Doctor Who doesn't do digital de-aging like they do now, but they never even needed to. The idea is John Sim's Master here is much, much older. His hair is grey and short. He's got like the goatee like Master used to have. The very first one, for example. Roger Delgado, he loves disguises, which is something the Master used to do, allying himself with his enemies and then turn on him. Again, that's just very John Delgado, and just the pure hatred and evilness in there is exactly what I felt like we were really missing in the Series 3 finale. So yeah, it's just great to see two, people say the Master and the Doctor are two sides of the same coin. Well, absolutely. This is the case now, except it's two versions of the Master, two sides of the same coin. Missy, one who's trying to like be a better person, and then the Master who is absolutely not. But the Doctor effectively dies. He like blows himself up mid-regeneration to save just a small group of people, and this is why I think this is the best series finale since Series 1. I still put Series 1 as the best, because ultimately Series 1, they didn't just fix everything. It was set so far in the future, like year 50,000 something. You don't have to like undo all the damage, because you're never going to see that timing again, pretty much, like, and we haven't much unlike, say, Series 3 when it's set in 2007, and you can't just have like Earth in ruins, because how are you going to tell future stories in that time? You unfortunately rely on a horrendous reset. And this series, again, it's set in some point in the future, but ultimately it's just about saving a small group of people. Yeah, the Cybermen can spread across the universe and like wipe everyone out, but that's not what this story is about. It's just about helping innocent people, and that's what I love about it. The Doctor, he's willing to die. He knows he can't defeat them, not even with the Master and Missy helping him, and yet he's willing to die. He says to the Master, you will die one day. Is there anything you'd die for? And the Doctor says, no, the Doctor will, just to help people, which is great. And it's just the perfect ending for his art. He starts so uncaring, and yeah, he's got the alienness of acting different and not seeing things the way he should, but he's a very different person. And again, with his finale, the book Twice Upon a Time nails it. Ultimately, a big part of him not wanting to like regenerate into a new person. It's not vanity like the 10th Doctor. He feels like he's done everything he should, and he's deserved this rest. Yeah, ultimately, a big part of it is the time he spent with River, closest to the human life he's always wanted that he could ever have, and it works so well. So I've not got Twice Upon a Time, but I remember it basically. He meets up with the first Doctor again, and who played brilliantly by William Bradley, who then they basically both come to understand that change is inevitable. Again, it seems a bit strange because there was nothing about First Doctor not wanting to change at all. And to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the episode. Again, it's the sexism. They make the Doctor seem like this old man who is just like the bit where you talk about wanting to give Bill a smacked bottom, and he's like, well, I have some experience with their female form. And she's like, yeah, so do I. And he's got this look of shock, and it's like, yeah, I don't think they got William Hartnell at all and his portrayal of the Doctor for that episode, so I'm not a big fan of it. That's why, to me, the Doctor gets killed in this episode. Bill's able to bring him back to life, and then he's struggling with the decision whether he does want to regenerate or not, and that's the end. And yeah, this is also where my reviews Doctor Who stop, unless I go back and review series 1 to 4, like the whole series, because I'm not a big fan of Jodie Whittaker's run whatsoever. I've never liked the Doctor being gender swapped, because what's wrong with him staying male? You've got plenty of time, ladies. Create a new one. Romana, Jenny, Susan, and it's just all too easy. You just change his gender just like that after thousands of years. It just happens with no real explanation for it. Because spoiler for series 13, there isn't. There is that just regenerated and call him a woman. Okay, carry on. And ultimately, Jodie Whittaker just felt like David Tennant's portrayal. The way she acted, the role, it didn't seem that different at all. But David Tennant is normally a better actor and did a great job. So I've never liked her run of Doctor Who. It's not just like the fact that the Doctor's gender swapped. It's ultimately that the show style changed completely. It started going on incredibly preachy, heavy. Focus on racism in the Rosa Parks episode was massively over the top to the point that every single white person was openly racist, which surely that was not the case. And you got an episode involving plastic as the villains. Okay, cool. So you've got the Autons coming back, right? Nope, it's just that we polluted the planet so badly and destroyed it with plastic, the world's going to be gone in the future because of it. And then she looks into the camera and basically says, be better. It's just stuff like that over and over again. So I may go back to it in series 14 because new Doctor, new style for the show. Russell T Davies did the first 4 years is back, which is kind of a bit worrying because you got to keep looking forward and not bring the old showrunner back. But who knows? Surely he's a much better writer now, so has new ideas. So it could be a good one. But yeah, Timeless Child and The Flux, they haven't fixed those. So no matter how good the new actor is and how well it can all be done, till they deal with this stuff, no. But anyway, back to good stuff. So yeah, Peter Capaldi's finale as the Doctor, well, unless you count the Christmas episode, and it really works. Again, the series feels different enough to before, but probably closest to classic Doctor Who, particularly Rusty Davies' Doctor Who, with Bill being more of from an ordinary background, etc. She's nothing exceptionally special about her the way Clara was or anything like that. She's very similar to Donna in a way. Yeah, it's a great ending to Peter Capaldi's run, I think, but I just wish we had more. Yeah, so that's it. So next reviews are all going to be for Torchwood, because I was basically from October watching one episode a day, like I did exactly 10 years ago, except now back then I didn't have anything from series 6 onwards. I do now, so I've watched all of them. So yeah, stay tuned for more, which will be Torchwood. Until then.